Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be showing you in Graphite how to create tones and values with your art, and I think the easiest way to do this is by working in Graphite because it's a very forgiving medium and it's a medium that most people got access to. So most people that own a pencil and stuff. So here I'm using the Faber-Castell Graphite range, and it comes with I think about 12 different shades of pencil. So the first thing that I like to do when working with a medium is establish sort of the values of each pencil. So the way I do this is to create almost like a grid where I can find out which pencil is the lightest and then which pencil is the darkest, and create almost like a table of values like this. Next, I think that it's really important, and one thing I found to be very useful as well is to work out pressure points. So what I mean by this is going from really dark and using a lot of pressure to a lot lighter. So I'd start off by holding the pencil very close to the paper and sort of really pushing down hard to establish the darkest value with the darkest pencil or the lightest pencil, and then sort of changing the way I'm holding the pencil, so holding it at the end rather than at the nib, and then trying to be as light as I can with my pressure to see how light I can make my marks. And I tend to do this on using like the darkest pencil, the lightest pencil, and then like a mid-tone pencil as well, just so I can get like a good table and a good scale of values. And also it's a really, really good way to learn a medium and get to know and get to practice almost. So I chose to draw a circle and make it into a sphere for this tutorial video because I think that it is super accessible to most people. Most people will be able to find an object in their house that they can draw a circle with. Like for example, I'm using a masking tape roll here, and then I firstly like to establish sort of a mid-tone. So I layer down or put down one layer of pencil, and using sort of like quite a light pressure. I think I used a 2B pencil here, which is sort of like just the mid-range, not really, really dark, but not really light either, and just layered it as you can see here, and just created a base layer. Once I'd created this base layer, I went in with a cotton bud. You can use a paper stump or any blending tool that you might have to hand really, just to smooth out the entire paper and smooth out the graphite that I put down in the base layer. Then I went in with my darkest pencil, which was 8B, just to start establishing where the darkest areas of the sphere was. When you're using a cotton bud, it picks up a lot of almost dirt or the graphite, so it's really, really good to use as a smudging tool, especially with mediums like graphite or charcoal because they are so blendable. So as you can see here, I'm just going backwards and forwards between layering out the pencil and also using a cotton bud to smooth out layers as I go along. Now, when I use graphite or pencil, I work in a lot of layers to build up the values and the tones. Next, I am using an eraser to lift up some of the areas that I wanted to show more highlight in, and maybe some areas that got a bit too dark as well. It's super important when you're trying to draw anything realistic to have a lot of contrast between your darks and your lights. So as you can see, I spent a lot of time going backwards and forwards between blending it out and layering up the pencil to create the most 3D effect I possibly could. I do think it's really important to find a reference photo for whatever you're drawing, so you've got a really good point of reference for shadows and for highlights and things like that, because it can be really, really hard to do from the top of your head to get a good aspect of where the light hits an object, especially one like this. When you have an idea of where the light is going to bounce off an item or an object, then you can start sort of creating some shadows, which really helps give something a 3D effect. You will have to excuse my dodgy camera angles here. I really, really thought that I nailed this, but clearly I hadn't. So a bit like when drawing a sphere, I go from pencil to blender, from pencil to blender, from pencil to blender until I get established the darks and the lights, and I'm happy with the result. And here is the final sphere study. I really, really hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, then please give it a like, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.